Hello and welcome to Capital Convo. I am Beatrice. I am here with
Laura
and
Daniella.
And today we're going to be talking about the Hailey Bieber video, which basically, if you haven't seen it, she talks about her experience with birth control, but also mainly what it's about is having a mini stroke and what it meant. She basically had a heart condition and it was perpetuated by being on birth control / they think potentially COVID. But we're going to be discussing our experiences with side effects and, how we feel about it. So,
dun, 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 dun.
Who wants to start?
For those of you who haven't seen the video, go and watch it. I'm not a Hailey Bieber fan, nor particularly a Justin Bieber fan, but she explains her situation really well. And
it isn't something that it's weird because we'll get into what I've experienced myself, but it isn't something that I've heard people talk about.
No.
I haven't. It's not like
openly spoken about.
No, and I didn't. To be honest, it's one of those things that if you ever experience that, you probably be like, "Oh, this is a one-off experience."
Mm. Yeah.
But
we'll get into some of the comments later on the video. But a lot of the people were saying, it's brought awareness to something that they have experienced, but they just didn't know what it was or things like that. So definitely worth having a look at, so you actually know more about what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Go watch.
So do either of you, have you got any either stories or side effects from being on said birth control or other forms?
Well, I actually have endometriosis, so I was advised to take the pill so that I don't have extremely really bad periods, because that's a lot to take on, especially with everyday life.
Well, that's one of the big sellers of birth control, isn't it? That it's meant to calm your periods down and regulate them.
But also, I was first put on it, just talking about other reasons to be on it, because I was on antibiotic for acne.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they say it reduces acne. Oh yeah,
but they were saying
wonder pill.
They don't. This is actually really bad. They were like, "Oh, we don't trust young people because the antibiotic is so strong. If you were to get pregnant, it would affect the fetus. So they have to put you on birth control as well."
I was prescribed it for acne at one point as well when my skin was really bad.
They were like, "Oh, we can't,
I don't have that issue."
Yeah. Anyway,
it's just basically they prescribe it for multiple reasons, but at the beginning of the video, she was basically just saying, if you have any past family history, medical history, or migraines, it's definitely something you need to let your doctor be aware of before they start prescribing you stuff, because they will off the bat prescribe.
That's their go-to.
Yeah,
I think.
it's their go-to for a lot of things, clearly.
Even something as serious as endometriosis, for them to just go, yep, pill. That's
well, they said it was either. I was obviously young when I first had. I had endometriosis for a while, but I didn't realise what it was. I just thought, oh, I've got really bad luck and I just get really bad periods. And then when I finally went to the doctor about it, because I literally couldn't move, they were like, oh, the only options are obviously contraception, because it will stop you obviously ovulating, etc., and you will not have periods as much, so it'll be easier to actually work with it. But the only thing that I found was that they didn't ask me many questions about what is in my family's history, anything to do with blood clots, migraines, anything to do with that. They didn't ask me. They just put me straight on it, because obviously what I was going through was really traumatic from a young age. So obviously they were just like, yeah, here you go. But the fact that I was probably 15, 16 at the time,
and that's when your body's still developing.
I know,
as well.
so it's a lot to take on, all the different hormones, all of this. I tried different pills constantly, so my hormones were up and down. And that's already when you're going through that stage of trying to change into a woman. To be on so many different hormones was very, very confusing.
When your hormones are already all over the place.
Let's just say I was a bitch, okay?
They don't tell you how important those questions are, though, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know those. They did ask me those questions about family history and stuff, but I don't know those things. My parents didn't sit me down and go, by the way, we have a history of blood clots. Who knows? Unless it's happened in your lifetime, a grandparent unfortunately might have had something and you therefore know, but it wasn't something that I was readily made aware of. And literally, you guys know, recently I got close with my grandma and was talking to her, and she told me about her side of the family's heart conditions, and my granddad's as well, and I went back to change mine because I'd always said no to that question. And then I started having all my heart problems. So I was like, what is happening?
It is crazy that, like, they don't... I feel like now maybe they're a bit more on it because they will actually ask questions. But I think back a few years ago, they definitely didn't ask me the questions that needed to be asked. And I feel like I have had issues with the pill because of that. Luckily, I haven't had, like, any major side effects. I've had bad migraines and et cetera, and I might have a blood clot, but, you know, fingers crossed I don't. We'll figure that out later on. But it's like, to put children... Because you would consider yourself a child at 16, no? Like, obviously you're a teenager, but you're still a child. Yeah. Like, you're not fully developed. And the fact that they can put you on something that can primarily, you know, damage you.
And they don't even know the long-term effects.
Yeah. I think that's the problem, is that we don't necessarily know all the side effects, which is when she says, oh, yeah, obviously strokes is a side effect of the pill. That's not...
I never even knew that.
That's not common knowledge.
No.
Yeah.
Blood clots kind of became more common knowledge with the whole COVID vaccination thing, when they were saying, oh, it causes blood clots, and people were like, yeah, not as much as
the pill.
Birth control does, though. So it did become more common knowledge, like blood clots, and I guess migraines is probably up there too. But some of the other ones, I mean, like depression's quite high, stroke. If you actually read and go into potential side effects, it's like every
the size
thing.
Of the thing that comes in those packs. If you open it up, it literally looks like a map of the UK, and you have to open it up like this, and you have
side
to do.
Effects,
I
death.
Literally was
There's
like,
an index,
wow.
a bloody glossary in the back.
Yeah, honestly, it's
but
like
that kind
crazy.
of that leads on to kind of my whole stance on birth control in general. I mean, there was a point in time when I've always had really irregular periods, which when you become...
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing.
Irregular period.
Same.
When you become sexually active, that can be really scary if you're not on the pill.
That's
or
exactly what I was going to say,
irregular contraception. So before that, I was having really bad problems with my skin, and my doctor's go-to was go on the pill. And it was like, so we've gone from 0 to 100. Like, I haven't even had sex yet. What am I going on the pill for? Like,
same with me though. I was on the pill at like 11, 12.
But they told me it will regulate my periods, it will calm my skin down, and all these boxes are being ticked. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to be a goddess. Rihanna is not going to stand a chance next to me. And then it lasted probably, I would say I stayed on the pill for 4 months, 5 months. And in honesty, I'm a bit of a nut job anyway, so I didn't really notice a massive change in my hormones.
Crazy?
Oh, I've
she
always
crazy?
been. Yeah.
No, but like extra
Pause.
crazy.
You crazy girl.
Crazy girl. Crazy girl.
No, it didn't make... Maybe it did, but in my head at the time, because I was just so hormonal and all over the place and psycho anyway, I didn't think that the pill had a massive impact on it. But then potentially looking back,
did people tell you though? Because like sometimes I know people are like, oh, their boyfriends, partners, families have been like, you are acting crazy. Like, what is happening?
I think people are giving up telling me I was crazy.
Yeah, same. I think it's
really?
like,
No
that's just her personality.
But then this is the thing, I've calmed down a lot since then, and I haven't been on the pill since that sort of period in my life. So potentially if I now went back on the pill, I would notice that difference, because I would like to think I'm more cool, calm and collected. Then that might really make
your 15, 16-year-old self.
It might really make a difference. But I've always been quite big on not putting anything in your body, if you can avoid it, not putting anything in your body that messes with the natural thing. Yeah. So if I'm actually at the minute going through a whole thing where I'm deciding the best contraception for me.
Yeah.
And
so I'm on that path with you.
Yeah. And right now it's sounding like the IUD or the copper implant is the best thing for me, because there's no hormones involved. You can have it for 5 years, you can have it for 10 years.
I love the science behind that though too as well. They don't know what it is, it just works.
Yeah.
You know
and
what
it's
like,
apparently
though?
the copper kills the sperm.
It's not normal to not have periods. That's all I'm going to say.
This is the
thing. If you're not having periods, that is not normal.
But then there's also, they say with the implant that you can just constantly be on your period, or you can spot. But my big thing on this is,
maybe I shouldn't out my sister, but she had the same thing. Like, she was on it. She had the implant. She also had the other one.
This one.
Implant, yeah.
The arm one. For people.
The arm one. That
the
goes
arm
under your
not
muscle.
the inside one.
And then she literally had a period like every day.
But even
for
that,
like 4 months.
But even the one in your arm, that is literally a constant stream of hormones. It's a bag of hormones that they're putting in your arm. Like, that is just, it's scary not normal, to me. Like, and I think if you can avoid things messing with your body more, like, there's so many health concerns out there, and there's so many things that you can be at risk of, that why would you add to that? And why is it the women's responsibility all the time?
Is that's another thing that I was about to say, based off what you said, is that it's definitely important, kind of going back to the video, but also to be on top of it yourself, because as we've kind of mentioned at the beginning, people will not be on top of it for you. I had to go back and discuss with the doctor about changing my pill. Then I had a bunch of heart conditions. I was having extremely low blood pressure. That I was going through echoes. I had B12, anemia. They were like pointing out every single thing. They were like, this is wrong, this is wrong. I then had to have heart scans, all of these 24-hour ECGs. And after all of that, this happened because I changed the pill, and they were doing my monthly checkup after doing the trial period, and my blood pressure had dropped apparently significantly, and it was already low and it dropped. And then no one then went. It was only literally until quite far down the line, about 2-3 months in, I said, do you think I should still be on this pill? Because no one's told me to stop taking it. And this is the one I've changed to. So I was like, should I be coming off it? And the woman was like, yeah. The doctor was like, yeah.
Have even been on it,
she was like, what are you talking about? And I was going, you guys didn't say anything. You didn't give me any alternatives. You didn't discuss with me what was happening. I had to literally, like you're saying, you, unfortunately, when it comes to your body, you have to take those things into your hands. And even if you have no idea what's going on or what the side effects are, if you see something changing, and you're going to have to tell them about it.
As great as the NHS are and medical people, doctors, nurses,
they were efficient with doing all the tests.
And that's amazing. But I really do genuinely believe that only you really know when something's not right in your body. Like, for you, that was definitely a thing, I would imagine, of you being like, this pill isn't, like, it's not right. There's all of this going on. This doesn't feel right to be taking this.
I've been on the same pill for 6-7 years. The same one. And
I mean, it's good that nothing's happened.
Because of my endometriosis, I take it for 6 months. I don't have a break. And I feel now I just decided one day that I just couldn't be bothered to take it anymore. I was like, no, I'm done. I'd rather have the periods. And I feel normal.
Apparently it takes a full year, though. Apparently it takes a full year for your body to readjust back.
But that's mental. Like,
a full year.
That shows how strong the change in your hormones is.
You can go and get you can go and get a.
Oh, you said not reversal, but like balance, right?
Hormonal balance.
But then you're putting more shit in your body that you don't really know.
Balances it out.
But how?
What are they doing?
Because they replace what you're missing. They check your levels. They do blood tests and everything. But it does work because they do it for like hormone replacing.
And that's great. But how mental that just to make sure I know that a lot of people take it. Say you take it for acne. Yeah. So just to have clear skin, you're putting something in your body that could cause you having a stroke, that's making you absolutely psychotic. And then you decide, actually, I want to come off it. Your hormones then go back all out of whack, and you have to take something else just to make you feel normal. And it's putting more stuff in your body for clear skin.
You want to know what's even weirder?
Go ahead.
We take the pill to avoid pregnancy, but the side effects are you may not be able to ever get pregnant again.
Yeah. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, it's like the problem with the other ones. When I was looking at other options instead of the pill, a lot of the other ones, I mean, obviously they are low risk, otherwise they wouldn't do it, but there's still that risk. I mean, the strokes are low risk, and after her whole conversation thing, it made me...
Hailey Bieber.
Yeah, I was literally like... Yeah, that happened to me when I was at university, and I had no idea what it was. And I literally couldn't move my mouth. I couldn't speak because I'd literally, the whole left side of my face had pins and needles. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was to do with like me not eating enough or me walking into university every day and having a change of diet, because depending on how stressful my uni work life was, depending on how much I was eating, whatever. And I was like, oh, maybe it's to do with that. Then after seeing her video, I was like, did I have a mini stroke? Hold on.
But don't you think that's weird in itself that
I brush it under the rug?
It's
really,
so
much shit happens with our bodies
exactly.
growing up.
A lot of people
cool,
just
that's
go
normal.
Yeah, but the fact that for a lot of people, because as I said, we'll get into the comments, but a common theme throughout the comments was, like you've just said, that you didn't know that was a thing. It's not Hailey Bieber's responsibility to be like, by the way, guys, yeah, this might happen. And if it has happened to you, this could be what it is.
The NHS.
Yeah, by the way, you might have had a stroke.
Yeah.
Maybe figure that out.
Yeah, and the amount of people that were like,
okay.
this exact thing happened to me, or this resonates with me because this happened at this time and I didn't know what it was. And it's like, that is crazy. We are relying on a celebrity's YouTube video to spread awareness about what can happen.
But I think that's kind of her point, because what she was saying is, and she was like, obviously I'm not doing this. She said, I'm very happy with like, I was very lucky to have everyone that supported me and stuff. But the reason that she was educated on all of that is because she obviously is a celebrity and had the best of the best. She went to one set of doctors that said it was absolutely nothing, and then was able to go to other private healthcare clinicians in the best universities in the USA,
and I think
to get answers, which most people don't get, which is why obviously it's, for people like me, I'm like, oh, that's kind of shit that like I couldn't get that. But it is good, I think, that she's using that platform to tell people, like, she's like, look, I know like not everyone has access to this, but I want to say this happened to me, and if it is happening to you and you don't have access to these people to do this, maybe bring it to your doctor and ask them whether you have this, because
but that as well is another,
read the blueprint.
that is another like really
I'm not a doctor,
big thing on like people need to push. If something doesn't feel right, 9 times out of 10 it isn't right. So like her, even though of course she's wealthy and she's got resources that average Joe wouldn't have, the doctors originally still told her that it was fine. She was still got the same response that a lot of other people would get, but she knew in herself that it wasn't right, so she went further and she asked again and she asked again. And albeit on a smaller scale, we still have those resources, especially in this country, obviously, with the NHS. Like, if something doesn't feel right, you've got to push it. Like, there's been so many different conditions, people that have been told that they're fine, and then they come back later and you're stage 3 this, and like, do you know what I mean?
No, for sure. Which is why I was saying, like, after going all, like, my experience of all this heart stuff probably went on for 3 months, maybe 4 months, and it was that long, and I kept bringing stuff to the table, going, oh, can you check in on this? Oh, they said I was going to get results from this. What is this about? Oh, can I just double check? I'm still on this pill. Am I meant to be on a different one? And it's only then that you get oh my God, yeah, you aren't supposed to be on that. And I'm like, okay,
why the fuck
no one told me
tell me that before, mate?
But that's the thing. Honest. Unfortunately, you need to be, like you said, if something doesn't feel right, or there's something that you're a little bit confused about,
no one's going to
do it for you. And you want clarification. Yeah, no one is going to, especially in these COVID times when no one can come in with you.
But
listen, my mum was trying to bang the door down, and I was like, they're not going to let you in, hon. They're barely letting me in.
But that's like, I have to admit, I'm part of the group of people that sort of go, okay, well, if they've said it's fine, then cool, I'll just, because I don't feel like it is fine, but
you want to trust.
Yeah, and it's kind of like,
tell you,
okay, am I gonna go through this whole process to then potentially be told the same thing? And it's a really frustrating thing. When I was at this same sort of time that I messed with the pill and whatever, I fainted all the time. It was really, really awful.
Really?
And I went for test after test after test after test after test.
That's usually blood pressure stuff.
Everything. Yeah. They did I cannot tell you the amount of times they did my blood pressure, they did all these things, and they were like, it's hormonal. It's hormonal. And at the time,
you should not be fainting all the time.
And at the time, I was like, I know myself enough to know this is not hormonal. The first time that it happened to me, I was 5. What sort of hormones are messing with my body at 5 years old? I hadn't hit puberty, like nothing. Like, so to be constantly told, you're fine, there's nothing wrong with you, at what point, do you just go, Okay.
All right, fine, I'm going to stop asking.
Or not even go to the doctor in the first place. There's so many people that
I think
just
that's the thing,
don't.
though.
That's
it's
like my
because it's
sister,
time consuming and they are pushed for nurses and they are understaffed, which is why they quite often are just like, yeah, cool, like go, leave, or they don't have time to be as thorough as everyone would like, which is super unfortunate, but which is why, kind of just to reinforce the point, you have to go in there and bring everything to the table your end as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So that the time that you do get
It's productive.
isn't wasted, and you are using your 15-minute appointment or whatever that you've got to the best of your advantage. Come in with a list of everything that you want to ask about things that you've experienced. I mean, don't go start bringing up some dumb stuff, but like...
But they're also like...
Right, listen here. 2016, I had this, and this. So what the hell does this mean?
Exactly.
Listen, on my toe, there's a little bit... The nail
It's looking a bit off.
I've got a bruise on my toenail. I don't know where it's from, mate.
But that, like, going back to the whole pill thing as well, they're now talking about bringing out a male contraceptive pill.
Yes! This is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Sorry, that was really loud. But listen, a woman can get pregnant once a year. A man can get how many girl pregnant every fucking day if they wanted to. Yeah?
But with this that's the point.
Anyone understanding what I'm saying?
That's just
where is the science in this? A woman can get pregnant once a year. Once.
You are...
You down a little bit.
Once a year. No, that's too quiet. This needs to be loud. Once a year you can get pregnant.
Yeah, no,
but a man can have sex with multiple girls in one day even and get them all pregnant if they wanted to.
More of, I would say it would be more proactive to make it a male birth control pill.
But it doesn't actually, because I get it. Trust me, it would be lovely if I didn't have to worry about any of it. Like
I
most
would still
men.
be worried though.
But it's not. I wouldn't wish.
I wouldn't trust them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't wish what's happening to us on
exactly
other people.
Exactly that, and that's.
Laura's like, I do suffer.
I hate men.
No, you know what it is? I wouldn't trust them. They'd be like, yeah, I'm on the pill.
That's
but
what I said.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But boys are worse. They're probably like, yeah, I'm on the pill. Are you mad? Yeah, that's calm. Yeah, babe. That's calm. That's calm.
I would never lie about that.
Show me the proof. I want to see the blueprint.
I want to see Monday to Friday.
I want to see all of them pills gone. And I want to see all the side effects as well.
Yeah, no, that's the thing though, is that, I mean, I would never do that. I would never lie about being on the pill because I'm also not trying to get pregnant. Yeah. So, whatever. But I wouldn't trust anyone. The half the reason that I'm on it now is, no offense, love your boyfriend. But I just don't trust, I've never trusted that someone else, that something isn't going to happen. Even if it's like, oh, they are using protection, but it breaks. Like, I just don't trust anything else. So I'm like, I'm gonna do what I need to do for me. Anyone else can decide what they want to do with their body. Yeah, it's not great, and I'm considering changes for myself, but I'm not gonna make anyone else do anything that they don't have to do.
But that's the worst thing about it, isn't it, though, that ultimately the final, even if there was a male contraceptive pill, even when you do use condoms, even all of these things, even pull out, cool, whatever, it ultimately falls down on the woman every time to make sure that she is taking precautions.
Yeah, because the parental investment is that much higher. Because you have to carry that child then.
Yeah, it's mental. It's such a pressure that I don't think people would really, like, guys would understand. And
I mean, I don't think that they wouldn't necessarily take it. I'm sure there's guys out there that would. But like you said, it's still...
Even then, I think a lot of girls, like you said, you wouldn't trust people
little trash bags.
Yeah, but also, like, if it didn't work... They still don't have a problem. You still have the problem.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting pregnant.
Yeah, if they forget to take the pill one day,
it's still
it shouldn't be the question, what, are you on the pill, babe? Are you on the pill, babe? Okay. We're both on the pill, that's calm.
But imagine you're both on the pill, they both fail. Who gets pregnant? Yeah. Who ultimately cannot leave the situation because you've got a bun in the oven? He can emigrate. He can go anywhere. He can do whatever.
I mean,
you're stuck with the child.
You might not be able to.
You ain't leaving me nowhere, honey. I'm telling you that now.
Always coming for you.
But I think also it's important to just, at the minute, there's so much talk of the whole abortion thing in America. I know it's been a theme in the UK and Ireland. It's an ongoing situation. But there was, I read a thing the other day that was saying that basically guys, when they get not their tubes tied. That's women. When
no, yeah, but vasectomy.
Yeah, but it's not reversible.
Yeah. Vasectomies are reversible.
So someone made the point that was like, well, if that's reversible, that should be done to them from a young age, and then when it's decided that they're emotionally ready, financially ready, they're stable, whatever, then it can be reversed.
But this is what I want to say. One thing, I know men, that have got girls pregnant, and they was
not ready.
Mad in the first place, and they was doing their thing. They was out every weekend, all of this, and a child has switched their life around. So sometimes an accident is like a blessing.
I agree.
And I feel like some men will never be ready to have children, but sometimes it is just given to them, and it really does help them. That is my piece.
But I also think there's a lot of
relying
situations.
On that? Are we gambling on these are one-off good times?
But then there's a lot of situations where it's not only the dad, but it's the mum that aren't in the best position or don't want to raise a child.
Yeah.
Like,
it's quite scary.
It's to have that just taken from you, to not even have the ability to go, like, you get pregnant tomorrow and you go, well, I can either stick a coat hanger up there and have a hot bath.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Rough. Like, it's really messed up that someone could just take that ability away from you. Okay, yes, there's things you can do to prevent pregnancy, but there's cases of rape, there's cases of sexual exploitation, there's situations where women get pregnant and don't have a choice, and you're left with this child and you can't get rid of it. Or you take a pill that could give you a stroke. Or you put some copper up your nun that could, do you know what I mean? Like, it's mental when you actually think about it. It's mental when you think about it.
Situation.
It's like a lose-lose situation. Maybe we should all just be celibate.
Listen,
no,
these
practice
we want realistic options only, Danny. Thank you very much.
I am actually practicing celibacy right now, and I think it's working out fine.
How's it feel?
She's
you haven't
crazy.
been that happy about it, if we're being honest.
Crazy, yeah.
The people listening to this have not been in the office with Laura, so
yeah, celibacy for
it's not working
out.
It's not fun.
We're like,
it's not by choice. It's just not fun.
Yeah. Shall we go into some of the comments that were left on the video?
Please.
Yeah,
I want to hear some.
I love reading comments on things. I just love hearing other people's opinions.
Sometimes you get fights in the comments.
Yeah, it's like,
ooh, let me get my popcorn.
Okay, so Grace Bell got 36 likes on this comment. That's not very nice. Poor Grace. You might be listening. Doubt it, but we know.
Hello, Grace.
She said, "It makes me so grateful to see someone with such an impact speaking out about this. I had this happen to me in 2020 because of my birth control, and even though I was lucky and physically healed, mentally I will never be the same. From the PTSD to my mental function, emotionally and cognitively, it will never be the same. I would never wish it on anyone, and doctors need to be more open about it because it wasn't something they even considered for me until I went to my OBGYN. I think that's a gynecologist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obstetrician gynecologist.
Oh. Almost a year ago. Although it's rare it happens, it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, it sucks that she was like really
mentally.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like as an experience, I don't even know if that is what
Would
I had.
you say that you
not being able to open your mouth and talk is quite traumatizing?
That would be a blessing for some people. Oh God.
Yeah, for you, not for the person having it.
Yeah. Did you feel like it's had an ongoing?
I went home from university because I was quite scared. But
I feel like it's because
I was getting pins and needles in my arm, and then sometimes it was in my face. But I was at the gym when it started happening, and I was really scared to continue like doing any workout. So I went back to my house, and then I tried again like the next week or next day or whatever. And then it kept happening, so I went like actually home to my house. Yeah, because I was stressed.
That's got to be so scary to do at uni when you're by yourself and.
Yeah, the thing is it kind of like she says it didn't last that long, but because it's like I've never not been able to open my mouth. I've never been able like not to feel like my arm or hand. So it was very scary. The only thing that kind of relaxed me was the fact that I was like, okay, it's gone away, it doesn't last very long, I can hopefully find out what it is before it becomes permanent. I don't know whether that's just because I was super into like medical dramas and stuff like that, and I feel like even things that are crazy like that, everything kind of goes in stages, and if you get it early enough on, hopefully pray God save you, but you will be okay-ish. So I wasn't as mentally scarred as I think this girl was, but I can imagine if
it's mad that other people
worse,
can experience it a lot.
Also depending on where you had the stroke in your brain or the blood clot when, I mean.
And it's mad it can just happen at any time, like.
Yeah. And a lot of people in the comments were saying that it's happened like more than once, like it's an ongoing, recurring thing. And a lot of the time that's obviously because they don't know what's happening to them.
I always get pins and needles, but I think I've just got bad
circulation.
Yeah, I get pins and needles in my feet, but I've never had it in my face or my arm. Like,
no, that's
one side.
I've had it in
I
my
get
arm
pins
before where I can't move my arm and it's literally
But it's been because I've laid on it.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not been like I've been chilling and I've got pins and needles and suddenly can't feel my hand. It's been because something that I've got a hairband on, it's cut off the blood circulation or something.
Look at my circulation. Sorry, no one can see it, but my circulation is mud.
You've just got grey hands.
Your hands are quite grey.
All right, next comment.
Sorry.
This is Angelina Abitino.
Okay. Sorry if that isn't how you pronounce it.
I'm sure she hasn't heard this. This happened to me exactly the same way at age 23. I was on birth control. It was during COVID when work from home started, and I was working really hard all day without crossing my legs without standing up. One morning I woke up and was trying to have a normal conversation with my boyfriend, but I couldn't get the words out and they were slurring. My face was drooping and I got tingling in my hands and arms as well. Yeah, they didn't find any indicators of clotting or autoimmune diseases, but they found a PFO through the bubble echocardiogram, and I had the same PFO closure procedure as Hailey Bieber. I also take low-dose aspirin every day now, but have been able to stop the higher dose blood thinners. Even that, like, mental. And then she said, I resonate that this experience was very scary and definitely life-changing. It honestly made me feel very scared for all the women out there that take birth control pills. I use birth control pills to balance my PCOS symptoms, but I now realise that we need better education on how to naturally balance our hormones, and I am all for that.
This is the question. Do you think that from a young age at school you should be taught about the pill rather than just sex in itself and sexual education? You should be taught about the side effects of taking the pill, of every single contraception.
I think every contraception.
You need to learn. Yeah. Exactly. And I know that children probably won't be like, they'll be like, oh, this is boring. I want to talk about
But to be honest, I
can get it told in a very fun way. We had some good speakers come into our school.
I was really lucky. I remember we had a science class in year 10 or 11, so around the age that people are starting to think about these things. And that was the first time I'd heard of like the copper, the IUD.
Yeah. And
like there was like femidoms and all of these things, and I was like, wow. What is all of this? Like, I didn't know that there were that many options, because the first thing people send you to is the pill. And I think that is so important to know not only all the different types of contraception, but what they do for you. And actually that different things work for different people. I'm sure the pill, it does work for lots of people, but it's not for everyone. And there's different options.
Side effects things and what you're saying about, the side effects of each. I think I was exposed to quite a few of them. As and when they came out, like at school, but they didn't say what each of them did, what the side effects were, or why, how and when you shouldn't take them. Like they never said, "Oh, if you have migraines, don't do this."
Yeah, they just said.
Take this if you want to do this, and you're like, okay, but they don't tell you like the ins and outs of it. I assume you're expected to go away and do that yourself, but let's be real.
But I think I'm doing my GCSEs, A-levels,
I'm not doing any extra work.
Exactly, but I think half the time as well, they're not even entirely
sure. I know, to be honest.
And I don't think they want to scare people because obviously it's not their place to scare children in a school. Because imagine they go home and they go, "Mom, oh my God, I found out." Sorry, I don't know why. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
But hopefully if you're a reasonably good parent or mom, you'd want to answer those questions. And
well, that's the thing as well. Should it be a conversation at home? I know not everyone. It should be in school regardless. But I think that's really important discussions to have at home. I know a lot of parents don't want to talk about.
My mum's been helpful.
Sex and contraception and all of those things, but you know, it's life. And if you don't have those conversations with your kid, are you just going to trust that your school's giving them the right education in it, or?
But to follow through that, you want it to be an open conversation with your child, just in general medical health, so that what we're saying you should be doing, you're more likely to do. Go in and ask the right questions as and when you need to about your health. Because if it's an open conversation at home, like my mum would often say to me, as I'm sure most like kind of parents do, did you ask everything? Like, if they haven't been able to come in with you, even if it's like, you know, the dentist or whatever, they go, did you ask what that was? What exactly are they doing? Did you ask about this? And I'm like, no. Sorry.
I got stage fright.
I always ask, because if I don't understand, then I'm not coming back.
But that's,
no, like, seriously, I'll be problems. Like, oh, what? So my wisdom tooth can't get taken? Say nothing.
Yeah.
Leave it for 8 months.
All right, then.
And then get infected.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I'm saying. Anything health, medical related, just ask all the questions.
I just think that overall, the pill, contraception, women should all be talked about from early on. I don't think it should be GCSE years. I think it should be earlier than that, because the society that we are in,
they
sexualizes everything very
young.
young, and I feel like people are not given the option to go down different paths because they don't know until it's too late. They're like, oh my god, I want to have sex, let me go on the pill.
Exactly.
Fuck, oh my god, I gotta
and
do
especially
this.
In terms of contraception, sometimes it's seen as like a dirty subject or a really mature subject, but actually having those conversations from early stop people getting in positions that they don't want to get into, stop making decisions that probably aren't best for them. And I think actually if we were all just a little bit less naive about what teenagers and what children really are doing, then a lot of things there'd be so much more education about it, there'd be less of a stigma. And I think it's at the end of the day, it's part of life. Everyone has sex, well, unless you're asexual, but like everyone,
like a snail,
you know, everyone has these times that they go through where they will need to rely on contraception, and that is an important conversation to have. Like, I agree with you, Laura, from whatever age you deem necessary.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good note to end on, unless you had something else to add there.
I was just going to say, take away from what we've said and do your research.
And comment and let us know your experiences. Let us know what you have gone through and what contraception's right for you and why.
Exactly. And rely on yourself to educate yourself. Don't rely on the doctors, because they...
You know you best at the end of the day. 9 times out of 10. Some people are absolute idiots. But mostly, yeah.
Well, thank you for listening. This has been Capital Convo.
Why do you always do that voice at the end?
Well, thank you for listening. I think that might be like my phone voice. You know, when you pick up the phone and you go like, hi, and like that's not your voice.
I'm going to start doing that on
the
phone now.
Well, thank you for listening. This has been Capital Convo.
That sounds like you're on the news. Hi.
You say
hi, guys. Bye, guys. Thank you for listening to Capital Convo. This has been your girl, Laura.
Beatrice.
Daniella.
And make sure to listen into the podcast on whatever platform you listen to your podcast on. And stay tuned to see YouTube videos of us looking cute at the same time, because right now we're not looking cute. But listen, we will try better next time, okay? Anyway.